Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. We've taken a couple of hiatuses through the last little bit here. This is our first podcast in August, and we are back ready to go. I've been excited about this all day and all weekend, watching tons of sports to get ready for this. Of course, we've got Jason Cameron joining us. Tell me about your weekend, Jason. How was it?
Weekend was good. Saturday, got together with some friends because it was one particular friend. It was his birthday earlier this week.
Nice.
So his wife set something up. So we went to a restaurant I've never been to before. Riley's Seafood and Steakhouse or something like that.
Okay.
Down by the Canada Convention Center.
Nice.
Real nice place. Great ambiance. I thought it would be actually pretty expensive, but it wasn't actually that bad. It wasn't actually that bad at all. And also, too, they put us out on the patio deck. And I guess there was like an anime convention across the street at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So I saw like a bunch of cosplayers and all that sort of stuff. So it was pretty cool. Like it was cool visuals that we had throughout the course of the night.
Yeah, I thought there must have been an anime convention because I saw a couple of people dressed up, and I figured that they were kind of the anime type of costume. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we heard about the 5th anniversary of the Stanley Park Brewing Company, and you know how they have that as soon as you enter into the park on the south side of the park, there's that old house that they converted into a restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's their 5th. That was their 5th anniversary. They put this huge, nice big outdoor deck there. They put down some artificial turf, tons of tables, and then they set up a band there. And the band played a whole bunch of music. They had a DJ playing between the bands, and yeah, really inexpensive food, inexpensive beers, and it was great. We had a really nice time there, and then we walked from there. We walked down into English Bay, and they had a huge African festival going on there.
Oh,
and it was pretty awesome. They had all these vendors set up. They had a huge stage with performers going on, and yeah, that was really cool. Didn't know that was happening, but we just ended up stumbling upon it, and that was fantastic. And yeah, we ended it with a trip to the Three Brits. Do you know that one right down in English Bay there? It's right on Denman and Beach.
yeah.
So yeah, I went there. That was good. And then went into Kits. They were finishing off the Saturday of their Kits Fest. And so then I went down on Sunday for a while too. They had a volleyball tournament, basketball tournament, and a tennis tournament, and a few other sporting events going on. And the basketball was phenomenal to watch. Volleyball was great. I watched a little bit of tennis, but I watched way more basketball and volleyball. And man, it was super busy down there, and it was great. I had an absolute blast.
Nice, man. And so, that was this past Sunday, yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, good. It's good.
Yeah. So yeah, it was nice to have something big in the hood. They had actually a bunch of bands down there too. So yeah, it was a really great weekend. Lots going on. I didn't know that it was going to be so active down there, but it sure turned out to be. So, and then of course the Olympics finished up, had the closing ceremonies yesterday, and the thing that stood out to me the most was did you see Tom Cruise's entrance into the stadium?
Missed it. I don't know what happened. I know he was going to be doing like a major stunt. What happened?
Yeah, they did a whole bunch of the ceremonies, and they had a bunch of speeches and a lot of things going on, and then they said we're going to pass the torch now from France to Los Angeles, where the 2028 games are going to be. And they brought in Simone Biles into the arena with the flag, and then all of a sudden you saw a picture or a shot of Tom Cruise, and he's on the top of the stadium, and you can see behind him everybody around the stadium on the grass and in the stands. I think they had over 70,000 in the stands, and all of a sudden he just jumps, and he's rappelling down towards the turf, and he's just coming down, and he lands on there. He unclips, runs over, grabs the flag out of Simone Biles' hand. Then he runs over, he sticks it on the back of this motorbike, and then he just whips on this motorbike, and he just starts going around the streets of France, going past the Eiffel Tower and the stadium and all these cool spots, all these beautiful places around the stadium. And then he kind of just passes it on, and it shoots off to Los Angeles on the beach. They have a concert going on. The Red Hot Chili Peppers played, Snoop Dogg played, Billie Eilish, and it was really cool. That was a really neat transition, and it made me excited actually a lot more for Los Angeles, thinking how, you know, they can really build it up with actors, with musicians, like they did the Super Bowl, you know, a few years ago. They had all those musicians there. It'll probably be pretty epic and pretty amazing, and it was cool to see Tom Cruise do a stunt, you know, to transition it from France to Los Angeles.
So a pretty epic ending.
Yeah.
For the Olympics,
yeah.
like as opposed to its beginning, but pretty epic for the
yeah.
ending.
Yeah, there was a lot of people complaining about the opening ceremonies, and you know, I definitely did not like a lot of aspects of it, but closing ceremonies were fun and amazing, and yeah, it was incredible games. I was enraptured over 2.5 weeks. There was so many moments that were special. Great to see so many Canadians get on the podium. We had our most successful Olympics, non-boycott Olympics ever in history. We got our most medals, most golds, and so many great stories. Really good for the US. They dominated with 126 medals. They tied China with 40 golds, so they ended up getting first place overall. Great to see France do so well. It's nice to see when the home nation does really well and the whole country can really get behind it. They ended up in fourth place overall, 64 medals, 16 gold, 26 silver, and 22 bronze. China and Japan were 2 and 3, and Great Britain was fourth place. France, I guess, was fifth place. France was fifth place. Australia did great. Lots of countries did phenomenal. Good to see Canada. 9 gold, 7 silver, and 11 bronze for 27 medals total. So yeah, it was amazing. I loved it. I'm already missing it. Then we're just 1 day removed from it.
Yeah, no, it was well done. There was aspects that could have been done better. But overall, it was pretty good.
We had 8 BC residents get medals there, so pretty incredible. And who knew that BC was the greatest place on the planet for hammer throw? We had a girl from Richmond, Cameron Rogers, win the gold in the women's, and we had Ethan Hatzberg win from Nanaimo. He won the hammer throw for the men, and him and Summer McIntosh were the flag bearers for Canada. Pretty wild that BC is the hotbed for hammer throw in the world.
Yeah, it's actually quite amazing, and I think for Ethan, he kind of came out of nowhere. To win the gold for himself. I just loved his hair. Beautiful flowing mane of hair that man had.
It's great to see. Yeah, it definitely was awesome, and his mustache. A lot of people were saying how he was one of the biggest draws of the tournament. Actually, there was some countries that were trying to claim him as theirs. They were saying that the Australians said, "Oh, look at this guy. He's an Aussie for sure. There's no way. He must have stolen him from us. Come on." And he was hilarious. They were comparing him to David Crosby. They said he looked like him. He had the nice mullet, and he became a big star. It was great. And Cameron Rogers here, right from Richmond. Great story, life story from her. Also, who knew that Richmond also had the greatest breakdancer on the planet.
Yep.
Phil
The
Wizard wins the
Wizard.
gold
Yes.
medal, and Richmond. Did you know that Richmond was the greatest place for breakdancing on this planet?
The Mecca of breakdancing now. The Mecca. I will say this, super impressed with that guy.
Yeah,
My goodness, was he good.
awesome.
As opposed to the Australian lady that showed off her breakdancing skills. I'm sorry, I had to mention her. When I saw it, like my friend actually showed me on Instagram, goes, check out this lady, how good she is. And I'm like, wait, what is this, Elaine type dancing in breakdancing? Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing, unbelievable. Yeah, I was pretty shocked to think that that was her entry into the competition.
No, I was shocked that that's the best that Australia could do.
Yeah,
She's the best.
yeah. Breakdance is just not their thing in Australia.
Not their thing.
It's
Not their thing.
No.
Yeah.
She was the best that you could provide. Yeah, way to go.
Yeah, way to go. But going back to Phil though, super impressed. I love the fact, I think it was in the final round where his competitor was making a move and then he mimicked it.
He mimicked him. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
He knew what he was going to do.
They
and
knew
he
what
just
he was gonna do.
perfectly did it just as exactly the same time he was doing it. And then it was like, I don't love that aspect of it. I really wish that they weren't kind of like in your face. Let's go. You suck. I rule. I don't like that part of it. To me, it wasn't the sportsmanship that I really enjoy about most sports. I wish they could cut that part of it out, but he did very smartly mimic his move. And, it was kind of like, oh, okay, this guy really has it. He's smart and he's got the gold for sure.
Yeah, and he knew it too. I think that was to put the stamp on it of like, no, I am actually that much better than you that I can already call your shot. And also too, I wanted to say this when it comes to the breakdancing culture, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
It's the face off and everything else. So I myself, it's like, I was just appreciative of the fact that they actually added it in as an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
Like, which is just in and of itself, that's amazing.
Yeah. I was surprised to hear that it's not going to continue in LA. So Wizard will be the gold medalist for at least 8 years and possibly more. Don't know where the Olympics actually go after Los Angeles, but so he'll be the reigning gold medalist for into the 2030s. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good putting a stamp on it.
Okay, some of the other things that really stood out for me were Summer McIntosh. They kept saying the summer of summer. She ends up with 4 gold medals and a silver medal, and absolutely was stunning at 17 years old. It's just shocking how good she is, and why can't she go again in 4 more years and win a bunch of those? She probably could have. If her teammates were just a touch better, she probably could have had a couple more big medals too, because the relay teams that she was on never medaled. And usually Canada does medal in those events. So, for her to do that well at 17 years old, it was just incredible to see.
Absolutely incredible. And with the mere fact that she hasn't really reached her prime yet. And she's already that good. So next Olympics, she's going to be a very, very scary person to go up against.
Yeah, it was actually, sorry, I said 4 goals. She got 3 golds, 3 golds, but obviously that is incredible. The other big thing that was really on Canadians' mind and was really great thing to see was our 4x100 relay team ends up winning the gold medal. Andre DeGrasse and his teammates Aaron Brown, Jerome Blake, and Brendan Rodney all had disappointing personal Olympics heading into that race. They hadn't qualified for finals, had really been not able to run their best races. Andre DeGrasse said he had a hamstring injury that was limiting him in his ability to get up to the top and run his best races. But somehow they came together so well and won the gold in that. And it's, you know, such a huge highlight for them and for all Canadians that were watching.
It was awesome. It was awesome to see because individually they didn't have the best races, but collectively they got it done. And I was super happy that they did do that because of what the US did. More importantly, Noah Lyles, big mouth, where he was asked about like the Canadians. He's like, who?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
I don't know. The guys that smoked you. That's who.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It was nice to be able to rub it into his face because he comes across as quite the jerk, and
He's
you know,
arrogant.
he really is so arrogant and says a lot of things. He ended up winning his early race, and then he got COVID, and he ended up finishing bronze in the 200, and then was just dropped right off the relay team there. I actually heard him and Tyreek Hill have a little bit of a verbal sparring match, and Tyreek Hill said, "Hey, set up a race with him. I'll kick his butt. I'm faster than him." And you know, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And yeah, there's a lot of people that have been rubbed the wrong way by Noah Lyles.
Oh yeah, well, it's just how he comes across. Like,
Yeah.
I understand where you feel that you're the best, but you gotta present yourself like that. Is that really is that the way you want to be? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That it's going to rub people the wrong way.
Definitely. I want to give a big shout out to Evan Dunphy. He's been on our podcast before. He ended up finishing 5th place in his 20-kilometer walk. You see him around Richmond quite often, training, and you know, all around great guy. Just finished off the podium after 20 kilometers. You're walking, speed walking to finish 5th. It's got to be heartbreaking, but he handled it so well. Class act, definitely, and really nice to see him be able to perform. And you know, 5th in the world, nothing to sneeze at.
Nothing to sneeze at for sure. Gracious as always, you know, in his approach to the game and everything else. So, like, he's impressed. He's super impressive.
So some of the other great things for Canada, women's 7 rugby team wins the gold there. A couple of BC residents on that team, Carolyn Crosley and Florence Simons, both get silver medals there. Then we had some rowers, Avalon Westonese from Campbell River and Kaylee Filmer from Victoria. Both got gold medals for women's rowing. Jerome Blake on that 4x100 team relay that I talked about, he's from Kelowna. And yeah, nice to see so many BC residents on the Olympic roster, and great to see so many bringing home gold or medals. And great to see Katie Vincent. She won a couple medals as well. She got 1 gold and 1 bronze in canoe racing, which was really fun to watch. We won a gold in judo. We got yeah, it was incredible to watch. A couple of disappointments, obviously. I guess the main disappointment probably was the Canada basketball team was unable to get on the podium. Everybody was kind of saying that they seem to be a shoo-in for that silver medal with the most NBA players outside the American team. And they ended up losing to the eventual silver medalist, France. And yeah, a lot of people were very disappointed. What were your thoughts about Canada's performance and not being able to fulfill a medal?
I thought they did pretty good, especially SGA. Shea Gilgeous did what he needed to do.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a running mate. And when I say that, I mean, where was Jamal Murray?
Right.
He had he was not very good in this Olympics. I don't know if he had an injury undisclosed that we don't know about, but he did not look very good. And to the point that, is that now going to be concerning for the Denver Nuggets going forward into the season?
Right.
Because he just didn't look like himself.
No,
at all.
he looked off a rhythm throughout. It just seemed like maybe a lack of confidence. Just
Don't know what's going on.
maybe not a guy that can play second fiddle on the guard position.
Yeah.
It just seemed strange. He just never seemed in sync and never seemed confident. I just didn't see the Jamal Murray that we saw a couple years ago when they won the title.
Yeah.
He wasn't the same guy.
No, he wasn't the same guy. He didn't have the confidence. Like he's not the same guy like hitting game winners against the Lakers. Like I didn't really know what was going on, but we needed him to advance.
Yeah.
And because of his lack, that's why we didn't.
Yeah. I liked a lot of aspects of the Canadian game, but yeah, disappointing there for sure. I guess one of the other big disappointments was the drone gate and the women's soccer team getting caught for flying a drone over the New Zealand women's practice. We ended up having our coaches suspended and kicked out of the Olympics, and then they were docked 6 points off of their preliminary round. Amazingly enough, they rallied and won their first 3 matches, were able to make it into the next round, but couldn't advance any farther than that. I thought it was incredible how much they got together and rallied, even though the outside noise was so loud, and there was a lot of people levying a lot of really negative things towards them. It was great to see that. Disappointing though, because they were expected to be also on the podium after winning the Olympic golds in Tokyo 3 years before.
Yeah, man. Like you thought that they would have a better showing, but because of what their coaches did. And by the way, this has nothing to do with the players.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the players. This is all the coaches. This was their ridiculous idea, asinine idea. And because of that, they had to deal with that extra noise, I think that still hampered them in the end.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, we mentioned the Canadian basketball team, but why don't we talk about the U.S. basketball team and France? Incredible to see France already, Victor Wembanyama being able to solidify this team and get them in front of the home fans crowd. They were able to get to that final, push the U.S. Very heavily in that final game, but the U.S. ended up winning out, and it was 3 veterans that really led the way for the Americans, being Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant. Pretty wild to see these guys in their late 30s be able to be the face of American basketball and kind of really be that team where you start thinking, man, maybe they actually can compete against that 92 dream team. How solidly stacked they were. But your thoughts on the American victory and their tournament as a whole?
First off, I want to say this. Congratulations on winning the gold.
Yeah.
Because if you hadn't, my goodness, would Steve Kerr have to field a lot of questions of, why didn't you play Jason Tatum? What happened with that?
Yeah.
So good job on winning the gold and not having to answer those questions.
Yeah.
Secondly, this was supposed to be like LeBron's Olympics. I think at the end, Steph might have stole it.
Yeah.
He hit 17 threes in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
17.
60 points in the last 2 games. No other person has ever done that in Olympic history.
Exactly. So Steph was incredible. And it was awesome to see the old guys go, yeah, I know the new blood is coming, but yeah, we got this. Don't worry about it. We're still good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was wild. And the other thing that really stood out for me was just how much it seemed to mean to them. Kevin Durant became the all-time winningest basketball player in the Olympic history, winning 4 gold medals himself. LeBron had one before, but it had been a few years since he had been back. And this is Steph's first time to ever appear and get it. It just seemed to be something that it just really touched them and really seemed to complete Steph's resume, in a lot of ways. And the joy that I saw, I really wasn't expecting it as such a massive thing for them.
Yeah, because they still have pride, and then also too, they know that they're going to be compared to the other teams that have won gold,
Right.
all of the great teams. And so where do they rank? How great are they and stuff? And I got to be honest, man, like the competition is so much tougher than what it was for the Dream Team.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. So the
time.
world has gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
A lot better. So you got to give them credit where credit's due. They stepped up when they needed to. And their three oldest men, their future Hall of Famers, all stepped up when they needed to. All of them.
Do you think that's the last championship any of those three will ever win?
It's a good question. That's a good question. I think for LeBron, yes. I think for Steph, yes. I think KD has an outside chance.
Okay. Did you see a friendship between Steph and LeBron that we had never seen before? It seems like those two had the chemistry, had just the absolute outpouring of joy. There was hugs there. They both did the night, after Steph hit that last three. I just saw two guys suddenly getting along better than they ever have, not having to battle each other for the NBA title year after year. Could you see one of them switching teams and playing with the other guy in the last season or two of their career?
I could see it, but I would say it would have to be LeBron going to Golden State because Steph's not leaving. Steph's not leaving. I think he has too much loyalty to the team and to the city. I think LeBron would have to come to him.
Yeah.
And then that is even a stretch now that his son is on the Lakers.
Right.
So
do you think Steph will not chase a ring if Golden State struggles in the next 2-3 seasons? You don't think Steph would look to, try to get a 5th or 6th ring?
No, because I think his legacy's cemented.
Yeah.
He got 4, and that's really, really good.
Yeah.
Like he's tied with LeBron. He's got 4. I don't think there's any reason for him to ring chase. None.
For some reason, NBA or basketball players in the conversation of the GOATs and of the top 10 and top 20, 50, 75, almost always they talk about the rings. How many rings? Bill Russell had 11 championships. Michael Jordan had 6. Kobe had 5. Shaq had 4. LeBron 4. Steph 4. They just always say that. Most of the time in that conversation, Olympics isn't brought into the talk. Do you think now, when we saw what we saw, do you think that this Olympics will be brought into the conversation with some of these guys for their legacy down the road?
I think it should be mentioned at least, because I think you mentioned that KD has 4, or I thought it was 5 gold medals or something like that. But either way, that's a big deal. That's important because you still have to step up and do that.
Yeah.
Yes, you're expected to win, but you know what? These other teams are really good. And they're going to test you to the best of their ability. So I think that should be included within the conversation. Because at the end of the day, like, how did Noah Lyles put it? They are world champions if you win in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Because you beat every other country to get there.
Right.
So I would say that it's an aspect that needs to be included.
Yeah. If this team from the Olympics played against the Boston Celtics in a 7-game series, would they have just absolutely crushed the Celtics?
Okay, so if I'm taking away Derek White, Drew Holiday, and Jason Tatum from the Celtics, yeah, I guess so.
Right,
But,
true. Yeah, 3 guys from the team. Yeah.
Yeah, but if those 3 guys are on the Celtics, man, still tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the series would go 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it goes 6 or 7. Yep.
Do you think France could have given Boston a run for their money in a series?
Yes, I do, but I think Boston still wins in the end against
Right.
France.
Wembanyama, absolutely fantastic series. Incredible rookie year, coming in, really thinking that he's a little too young to, dominate, but some of the things that he does in a game on a daily basis just shock and stun people. His reach is just phenomenal. Just his floor presence is just unbelievable. One of the shots Steph hit over him as he was running out to try to defend it. It was like, oh, I can't even believe Steph hit that. That was, to me, one of the most historic shots ever. But do we see Wembanyama be the best player in the world by the time 2028 comes around and helps France, upset the US next time?
I think he's going to be right there. He's going to be one of the best players in the league. Because the one thing that I've always liked about Wembanyama and his game is his mentality.
Yeah.
The fact that he actually wants to be the best and he works very hard at doing that. It shows. It showed in his progress and his improvement throughout the course of the season, this past season. Yeah. And so I think he's eventually going to get there.
There was a lot of guys that really helped France beat Canada, and guys that we don't know, we don't follow. They're playing over in Europe, and we just didn't know. We were like, okay, we know the NBA guys that they got on this team. They got obviously Wemby and Gobert, and they got some of these sharpshooters. But the guys that beat Canada were unknown, and that's got to be tough for a coach when you're trying to prepare a team and to beat them. You're pointing at, this NBA guy, this guy, that guy. This is how we beat him, defend him. This is how we work. But all of a sudden, these guys come out of nowhere and help them win. That gotta be really tough for Jordi Fernandez and that coaching staff that tried to prepare Canada to how to beat France.
Yeah, no, it's super tough. But at the same time, it's like, that not all of these guys are NBA players. So that's where your scouting comes into play. And then you have your other coaches that have to watch video of these other players because they're integral to France winning. It's like, you can't just shut down the NBA players. Right. You got to look at the whole team because at the end of the day, it's still a team sport.
Yeah. This guy, Yabusele, he looked like Ben Wallace to me. And the guy was amazing in that game against Canada. He was just unstoppable. And he scored he got a dunk yesterday, or is it Saturday against the Americans that I couldn't believe that the guy could leap that far. He's just a massive tank, and he was able to jump over somebody and slam it down. And some of their sharpshooter three-point shooters, they are becoming, quite the basketball nation. And look out over the next few years, world championships and many aspects, and then going into the next Olympics. France is no joke, that's for sure.
No joke for sure. And I think for some of their players, they showcase their skills. I think they're going to garner some interest from some NBA teams.
Yeah, that's sure. Very true. Yeah. In this tournament, there was 69 current or former NBA players on Olympic rosters outside the U.S. That is amazing. There were 3 first-team All-NBA players from last season: SGA, Nikola Jokic, and Giannis. And that game that Serbia had against the States, they were up by 17. And they really had them on the ropes. Jokic was playing phenomenal. All of a sudden, there was a play where it went down to Serbia's end of the floor. It ended up being a 6-point trip, and it really changed the whole dynamic of the game. It put Jokic on 4 fouls, where one foul away from getting out of the game. He suddenly seemed to, not be as aggressive. And the States was able to come back and just nip them in the end. But Serbia really had a really legitimate shot to beat the U.S. With Jokic and his henchmen.
Yeah, and you have to remember, he's still the best player in the NBA, right? And he's the best player for a reason, because it's him and a bunch of other dudes. He almost took down the US.
Yeah.
So yeah, that guy's always lurking in the dark, waiting.
Amazing. The 92 Dream Team. I took a look at the picture today. Yeah, I'd love to. Just wish we could see this team play that team and just see how it would come together. That 92 Dream Team had Magic, Bird, MJ, Barkley, Scottie Pippen, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, the Mailman, Stockton, Drexler, Mullen, and Leitner. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But I think these guys would have given them a big run for their money.
Yeah, they would have.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll preface this by saying this. If Magic and Bird were in their prime, because Bird had the bad back at that time and Magic was a little bit diminished, if those two were actually in their prime, that's not a conversation anymore.
Right.
It just isn't.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah, true enough, eh? Pretty wild. Okay, so I mentioned how much I saw LeBron, KD, Steph seem to just really, really enjoy this moment, winning the gold medal. And I mentioned Serbia with Jokic. Do you know who won the gold medal in the golf tournament for the men's, and who won the gold medal in the tennis tournament for the men's?
Tennis tournament for the men's, it was Djokovic.
Yeah.
And because it was he says it's the best part of his career, the biggest thing that he's done in his career.
Isn't that incredible? This is a guy that's already considered the GOAT, won 24 majors, has won 99 titles, and this was the
pinnacle
achievement of his career. Isn't that unbelievable? That's shocking to me.
No, it just goes to show just how much it mattered to him.
Yeah,
how much it mattered to him. Because I remember seeing after the game was done, he ran. It took him a while to get to his family, and like just the outpouring of emotion, you knew right there. It's like, oh man, this meant everything to him. Yeah. It really did.
It was crazy. I haven't seen him have that much emotion. He was crying. He was bent down on the ground and his hands were shaking. He was just, oh my God, I did it. And
yeah.
I think he had won a bronze medal in the first time he entered into the tournament, and he was unsuccessful, got knocked out early in the other times that he was there. Being able to beat that 21-year-old Alcaraz, on clay like that, it just seemed like it just was the greatest moment of his tennis career, which has had, dozens and dozens and dozens of amazing moments.
Yeah, dozens and dozens of amazing moments. But I was happy for him because like that's the culmination. It's kind of, what it reminded me of Messi finally winning in the World Cup. It was the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? Where I finally have the crowning achievement. So if I decide to retire right now, I'm good. I got it all now.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah. Okay, the golf. Do you know who won the gold medal in the golf?
No idea.
Scotty Scheffler. Yeah. So he's the greatest right now. Incredible for him. And I've never seen so much outpouring of tears. Just how happy he was. It seemed like it was the greatest moment of his sporting career.
Yeah, and that's again, it means so much to these guys. Yeah. And on the world stage like that, and to perform and get it done because it's expected of you to get it done, still, so that's like the hardest thing to do, where the expectation is there and then you come through. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. You mentioned a couple of things that weren't terrific about the Olympics. Should we even go there? Should we, talk about those, or just say no? Those can be put to the side, and we just talk about the good things.
No. There's one thing that actually super bothered me. Super bothered me about this entire Olympics. It was the triathletes. It was the fact
Right.
that they had to swim in the Seine River.
Yeah.
It was the fact that the particulates of E. coli was 900 or above. It was the fact that the politicians are like, but we put $1 billion into the river, so it should be good. It's like, no, it's not. That's centuries of sewage that have been going into the river. And you couldn't find, like, I don't know, a clean water source for the athletes to swim in?
Yeah.
Are you out of your freaking mind? And then how many of them got super, super sick after it was all said and done? That's your stain. That's your black mark, friends.
Right.
Sorry to say, but that was disgusting.
Yeah.
Utterly disgusting. Like if I was a competitor, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not swimming in that. I'm not swimming in that because I don't know if I'm going to be able to come out of the water like alive.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
Brutal, hey? Yeah. Tough.
Brutal.
Yeah. There was a couple other drawbacks. Andre DeGrasse's coach had his credentials revoked and he was sent home over some sexual abuse allegations, and that's rough. That must have been also pretty hard for Andre to keep focused on what he had to do, having his coach gone and not knowing what the hell happened.
Yeah, no, that was super tough, and also to probably blindsided him because he probably had no idea about any of that stuff.
Yeah. Lots of athletes got sick, like you said. Some got COVID. Some, I don't know if they call it E. coli, but a lot of athletes did have, got flu and got sick. Not very good. There was a few steroid positive tests, as always, but I guess it's good that the cheaters are caught and removed. There was a really big controversy between the gymnasts. A gymnast had won a bronze medal, and then the U.S. went over and protested and got it overturned. So she got the bronze medal, then she got the bronze medal taken away, and now they've decided to give it back to her because the appeal, they said, happened 4 seconds too late. And that's been kind of up and down, topsy-turvy. One girl had the medal, the other girl had it, the other girl's got it now, back and forth. So that was kind of weird, and I hope they get it sorted out. This is supposed to undergo some investigation and try to, figure out so that, I think both girls should be just given the bronze medal and just be done with it and, put the whole controversy to bed.
I don't know if that's ever been done before, but that sounds like that should be the way to resolve this situation.
Yeah,
because
that has been done. That has been done.
It has been done. Okay, then just do that and be done with it. Like especially if you put the athletes through that back and forth, not needed.
Yeah,
not needed.
The other thing that was very bothersome was the boxing. 2 women were accused by the governing body to actually not be able to compete. They thought because they did some weird testing and said that they were men, and it was proven to be not the case. And that governing body, a Russian-based organization, has now been banned and has been kicked out of athletic competitions like this. And another example of Russians being really brutal, cheating, and aspects of this. And you had to feel really bad for these boxers. The Algerian boxer was accused of this, ended up winning the gold medal, and tried to be vindicated over all this. And another black mark for the boxing world and Russia as a whole, for another governing body to be actually dismissed and told that they cannot rule the sport anymore. That was a bit of a black mark for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the fact that they were not apologetic. Instead, they doubled down. They doubled down hard. Like I remember reading the article about that, and I'm just like, oh, they're emphasizing the point of like, we are right, you're wrong. And I'm like, I felt bad for both athletes because now people are looking at them saying, so what's going on? Now they have to field all these questions that they shouldn't actually have to field. They're getting hate messages and all that sort of stuff. And it's just, it's super disappointing to see that because they did nothing wrong. They
Yeah.
they did nothing wrong.
That's true.
Nothing.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. Okay, ending the Olympic talk on a positive note. The U.S. women basketball team showed how dominant they still are. They won their 8th straight gold medal, their 61st straight game. They have not lost since the semifinals in 1992. And they faced France as well. Both men and women team faced France. The French team hit a 3-pointer right near the buzzer, but her foot was on the line. So the Americans ended up getting the victory, 67-66. Both teams didn't shoot very well. It wasn't a pretty game, but Americans now have that 8th straight gold with 61 wins in a row. And hopefully that, like that 92 dream team and like this team now, it just starts raising the level up of the competition, and we get to see, you know, better and better games and better teams facing off, and finally maybe knocking that American team off the top of the podium.
Yeah, here's my question. Is Caitlin Clark going to be on the team next Olympics? Maybe then I'll pay attention. No, I'm kidding. But I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. But no, the ladies did amazing. They're just the dominant force, and it has to be said, to make that team, to make the women's like Olympic team, it's so hard because all the best ladies are from the US.
Yeah.
Like pretty much all of them. So to even get on that team, like it's special and it's super hard. And you know what? It should be earned.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark is amazing and she will earn her spot eventually.
Yeah.
But right now it just wasn't her time. So
that's true. Exactly. I'm glad you mentioned Caitlin Clark. I was going to talk about her today. She had a nice meeting with the New York Yankees on the weekend. They brought her in. She got pictures and autographs, and they all the Yankee players were really thrilled to get a chance to meet her. Aaron Boone, their coach, their manager, said, "Oh my God, I couldn't believe like these guys seem starstruck." They were like, Caitlin Clark, I get to get her autograph, yay! He said he was pretty shocked. And then to hear Caitlin talk about meeting Aaron Judge and just being blown away at the size of him, being 6'7", 290 pounds. She said, "Oh my God, the guy could have played NFL, NBA, and MLB. He could have easily played all sports." That was pretty neat to see them stand with each other. Judge signed his jersey, gave it to her, and yeah, it was neat to see her transition or transcend her sport, and even baseball players are happy to meet a basketball player like her.
Yeah, and it's awesome because it's just she's making it known that now we're relevant. We're really relevant now because these guys want my autograph.
Yeah.
Mine. Like, when was the last time we've even heard of that happening? I don't think ever.
No.
So congrats to the WNBA because you know what? Ride that wave. Ride it all the way because this is awesome. And this might not ever happen again.
Yeah. The American basketball team should have included her. There's players, at 10, 11, 12 that barely see the floor. Tyrese Halliburton played 26 minutes in the entire tournament. He didn't see the floor, I don't think, the last 2 games. She would have been able to be there. It would have been, that much more eyeballs, that much more attention on the team. And it would have given her that Olympic experience. Summer McIntosh made the Olympics at 14 years old and swam and got that experience and swam so hard in the next 3 years that she won 4 medals for Canada. I think that was a big miss by them not having Caitlin Clark on the team. You said it, I'll say it. It was a big miss, and they will rectify it, I'm sure, in 4 years, and she'll be there. But it just would have added that much more to the whole Olympics experience for everyone.
Yeah, more eyeballs because that's what the league needs anyways.
Yeah.
So like if you have more people invested in watching, your sport, then you have more people invested in watching your sport.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. She's like the Steph Curry of the women's game, you know. So look what Steph did. Eight 3-pointers in that final game, 60 points in the last two. If they have an MVP, he wins it. And she might have had that chance out there. Even if she got a few minutes, she probably would have scored a lot, and it would have been fantastic to watch. But anyway, can't do anything about it now. Speaking of Aaron Judge, okay. Aaron Judge hit his 299th home run yesterday. He is one away from 300. He needs 134 more games to break the record for the fastest to 300. I'm pretty sure he's going to break it. He's amazing. He hits a home run about every 10 at bats. So that's about 3 games, and he will be breaking the record. The record has been held for a lot of years. Hall of Famer Ralph Kiner had it before, or has it now, 1,087 games. Aaron Judge has only played 952 games so far. Ryan Howard, 1,093 to get 300. Juan Gonzalez, 1,096. And A-Rod, 1,117 games to get 300 home runs. So, Aaron Judge will be the fastest to 300. And he's on pace for 57 homers this year. He will be only the 5th player in history with 3 years with more than 50 home runs in a season. Sammy Sosa did it twice. Mark McGwire did it a couple of times. Babe Ruth and A-Rod. And Sosa, McGwire, and A-Rod, all steroids. Babe Ruth, beer and hot dogs. So you know that he's in some pretty damn elite company already in a major league career that's 950 games in, starting to do just historic things.
Historic things, and doing it clean.
Yeah.
But also too, he has the genetic gifts to do it clean because he's a monster.
Yeah.
He's a real monster.
Every time you see him on these lists, it's against all these Babe Ruth and then all these guys that had been doing steroids at some point in their career. So, amazing genetics and a gift that he's got. Incredible to see him doing this. I am on the Aaron Judge watch tonight. The Yankees are actually losing to the Chicago White Sox, who are the worst team in baseball. Pretty shocking. Bottom of the 7th. It's 7-2 Chicago. Judge is 1 for 3 with a walk and a run batted in. He was facing a rookie today and a rookie tomorrow starting pitchers. I don't think that pitcher's still in the game for Chicago. No, they're into their 3rd pitcher. Aaron might get another 1 or 2 times up to bat to see it. Maybe before this podcast, we'll be able to say in his 953rd game, he's got his 300th home run.
That would be awesome. Okay, so Aaron, we're just gonna need you to time it right and just hit that one for us, please.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. You can do it, buddy. You can do it. Okay, 3 mentions of local teams. We had the final for the CEBL. The Vancouver Bandits played the Niagara River Lions yesterday, and amazing game. Came down to the final shot, and the Bandits were defeated by Niagara. It was a fantastic year for Vancouver, a fantastic season for a whole for the CEBL. Both teams were number 1 in their conference, were able to get into the final. Both had the same regular season record. Both had to fight, but they won their semifinal matches and got into the final. Vancouver was down 10 points when the times, what is it called? The target score hit.
Target score.
They were able to actually get it up to a tie. And it was 96 was the target score. It was tied at 95. And all of a sudden the Niagara went to the free throw line to shoot two. Actually, was he at? I think he was at 90. They were at 94, and he needed two free throws to get to 96. He sank the first one. His name is Khalil Ahmed. Sank the first one. Second one he misses. Vancouver goes down, scores a bucket to make it 95 all. And then Khalil grabs the ball, runs it down, does a floater, wins the game for Niagara to take the title. It was pretty dramatic and pretty incredible. Playoffs were so fun to watch, and really fun season for the Bandits.
Yeah, disappointing that they couldn't win that last game, but awesome. Like, it's just an awesome product. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so impressed. I'm looking forward to seeing more games, a lot more games than I did this year, next year. And I'm also too very happy that they didn't win that damn game on the line. Thank goodness.
I
Thank
know.
you.
I
Thank
know.
you.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah. They said that they have a rule that if there's a possibility of the guy winning it at the line, they have to go to an independent review, and they have to make sure that the foul was actually committed. So it wouldn't be somewhere where there's controversy, fans are screaming, that wasn't a foul. He wins the game on the free throw line. And luckily he did miss that shot. So it wasn't one at the free throw line. I thought that too when I watched the game live and it was about to happen. Luckily it didn't. But yeah, he atoned for his miss at the free throw line, was able to come in, enter the paint, hit a floater, and win the game for them. But great performance by Vancouver all along, and it was phenomenal. It's pretty incredible that they pack in 106 games in 82 days for the whole 10 team league, and it's a great summer thing. A lot of guys come in from top leagues around the world, showcase the talent. It is an amazing product, and everyone should look at getting tickets for next season, getting season tickets even, and really supporting this. I think the sky's the limit. I think this team will be able to draw a lot of fans, and it's going to be one of the tickets in town that you really want to have.
Yeah, I think the whole league is going to draw in a lot of fans because the quality of basketball is outstanding.
Yeah.
It's absolutely outstanding. That was the thing that shocked me the most. I didn't know going in, but when I left very satisfied and happy.
Good. I want to mention the Whitecaps. They played on the weekend a couple of games, or they played on Wednesday, their last game. They are playing in something called the Leagues Cup. They lost to the Pumas 2-0, but they beat Club Tijuana on last Saturday. They also had a penalty kick victory over LAFC, who's currently second place in the Western Conference. Vancouver is fifth currently in the Western Conference. Vancouver has a bye this week, but they get to play LAFC again down in LA on Saturday, August 24th is next for them. BC Lions, Vernon Adams is out. BC Lions have now lost 3 in a row. They lost 33-16 to those Elks. And I told you, the Elks had lost 7 in a row. They had fired their coach and got rid of almost the entire coaching staff, brought in Jarius Jackson as coach, G. Roy Simon as general manager, and they've now won 2 games in a row. They look good doing so. The Canadian Trey Ford has come in. They should have been putting him in a long time ago. I don't know why the former coaching staff wasn't utilizing him, but he came in, played really well in the beginning, but the BC Lions sacked him and knocked him out of the game. They were able to win with their backup quarterback and put the Lions now down to 5-4 and reeling after 3 straight losses. Edmonton 2 straight wins. Edmonton had a 200-yard rushing attack, and it was incredible to see how Edmonton's turned this around and has now nipping at the heels of some of the teams in the Western Conference.
Yeah, it's impressive. It's impressive. But what needed to happen was a whole coaching change, a whole regime change.
Yeah.
Because I guess, you know what, the culture obviously wasn't very good. So Jarius Jackson and G. Roy Simon still have a lot of work to do, but at least they have the capacity and the will to change the culture in that locker room.
Yeah. There was a statistic during the game. Edmonton's running back, Javon Leake, he had received almost no carries for the first 7 games, and they had lost them all. He's been able to put up 350 yards in the past 2 games, and he had another amazing performance. And he ran, he's had the fastest running speed time clocked over every NFL player, over every CFL player over the past 5 seasons. He is faster than Tyreek Hill, faster than our guy down in Seattle. I should know his name, top of my head.
Come on now. DK Metcalf?
DK Metcalf, yeah. Metcalf had, I think, the fastest time before this guy. And but this guy's speedster and bruising running back, speedster as well. Really, really, really smart that they put him in as well as Trey Ford to change the culture of this team.
Sometimes you kind of look at this and you go, so what were you guys doing? Do you not know that this guy's good?
Yeah.
He gets like, I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, he's super fast and he's super good. So yeah, give him the ball.
Yeah, as I said, they had over 200 yards running. Leak had 145 yards with a touchdown. Justin Rankin, 7 carries for 77 yards. And oh man, yeah. As I said, Vernon Adams is hurt. We've been able to see this Jacob Dolagala come in, and he played pretty well. He was 14 to 23 for 146 yards, but yeah, I think he was on the roster of 5 NFL teams before he went to Saskatchewan last year. He got an opportunity at the end of last year. Comes here. He's 6'7", 242 pounds. Has a really good arm, and I think if once he gets more first team reps and understands this team and they can rally around him, I think if Vernon doesn't come back right away, I think they might be able to still peel off a few wins.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to have to learn the offense and the playbook and all that sort of stuff, but at least there's still some hope for the team.
Yeah. Okay, going from the CFL to the NFL. Really good preseason games this past weekend. That first week, you didn't see any starters at all, almost zero. This week, we finally got to see a bunch of the rookie quarterbacks that were drafted top of the NFL draft this year finally get some opportunity. I was pretty impressed with many of them. I have some stats over the top 6 quarterbacks that were drafted in the NFL draft. Caleb Williams was number 1 overall. He had a pretty good game in a big 33-6 win, Chicago over Buffalo. He was 4 for 7, 95 yards, had a rushing attempt to 13 yards. Looked like he was in a lot of control, has so many weapons there. I think he's going to have a phenomenal year.
Yeah, well, they've set him up for a chance to do well with the weapons that they put around him. So hopefully he can utilize those to the best of his ability, and the Bears can be relevant again.
Yeah, for sure. I was impressed with Bo Nix. He looked good in Denver's win. They won 34-30 over the Colts. He was 15 of 27, 125 passing yards with a touchdown. And yeah, he just looked like he was in control. I was very, I thought he kind of looks like he's already ready for the NFL, where I don't see a lot of rookies immediately stand out like that. But to me, he looked like he might be even the most ready NFL quarterback coming in as a rookie.
And that's impressive because
Yeah.
like this was a very strong class of quarterbacks that came in for this particular draft.
JJ McCarthy had a great performance. He was 11 for 17, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw one bad pick that they'll be able to hopefully stop that from happening. But one of the coolest parts of it was Justin Jefferson was mic'd up for the broadcast at the time he threw both of his touchdowns, and Jefferson went crazy on the sideline, running up and down, screaming, yelling. He looked very impressed with this young rookie after losing Kirk Cousins, and you're having bring in Sam Darnold. You're like, oh, what's going to happen here? JJ looked the part and had a good performance in a game where he did get a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, and that's great because like Justin Jefferson needs somebody to throw him the ball, and if he sees potential, then that's a very, very, very good thing. Vikings fans got to be happy.
It's going to be fun. JJ to JJ McCarthy to Justin Jefferson all season long. That is a weapon that JJ is going to love to throw to.
Oh no, he's going to love throwing that. And Justin Jefferson's going to be loving to catch the ball from JJ.
Yeah. Michael Penix, he was 9 for 16, 104 passing yards. Falcons lost 20-13 over Miami. Unfortunately, the Falcons did cut Nathan Rourke, and he is back as a free agent looking for another team. Just doesn't seem like he's getting enough looks. He was Rourke was 3 of 13 for 47 yards. I didn't see the game. I saw some brief highlights, but they already have cut him loose.
That's unfortunate. I sometimes I wonder, is he actually getting a real look, or they're just like, well, you know what? That's a bad game. That's all you get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the NFL for you, because the NFL can be pretty harsh.
Very harsh. Yeah. Very tough. Okay. Jaden Daniels only had a very, very small opportunity. He was 2 for 3, 45 pass yards, but he did have a rushing touchdown. Jets beat the Commanders 20-17. The Jordan Love looked really good in his very brief performance. 2 for 2, 63 yards with a touchdown pass, 23-10 win over Cleveland. Cleveland, they're talking a lot about utilizing DTR, but Jameis Winston, I think, is the slated number 1. He was 4 for 5 for 30 yards. We'll see what works there. Houston beat Pittsburgh 20-12. CJ Stroud, after an absolutely phenomenal rookie year last year, was limited in this game. 2 for 4, 41 yards with a touchdown pass. They also have Davis Mills and Case Keenum, who all got opportunities. The one touchdown pass that CJ Stroud threw to was to who?
Tank Dell?
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. 34-yard touchdown pass. It was beautiful. And that is going to be a weapon that he's very happy to have back after Tank missed a bunch of the time last year with an injury.
Yep. And you know what? Like he's got a lot of, he's got one new toy in specific in Stephon Diggs. That's a very strong receiving core that he's got on that team now.
Yeah. Pittsburgh, Justin Fields had a limited opportunity, 5 for 6, 67 yards. Kyle Allen had the bulk of the snaps, 19 for 23, 193 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Russell Wilson supposedly will be back this coming weekend for his first opportunity.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think he's going to have a short leash. Like he's there. I think Mike Tomlin will have no problem pulling him for Justin Fields. No problem.
No problem. Yeah. Another quarterback that was drafted high up in the draft, Drake May, had limited opportunity. 2 for 3, 19 yards. Patriots beat the Panthers 17-3. Joe Milton the third. He was their quarterback for the most part. Had 54 yards through the air, 1 touchdown, and 5 rushes for 22 yards on the ground. They used the 4 quarterbacks there, and yeah, I don't know what the heck they're doing there. There's a bunch of teams that I don't think they know what the heck they're doing. They're just throwing a bunch of guys in there and hoping somebody sticks and plays well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they're just like, yeah, we know that we don't have the best of choices here. So, whoever can rise to the top gets the job.
Yeah. The Jags beat the Chiefs 26-13. Pat Mahomes limited a chance, 3 for 4, 27 yards. Do you know who is now the main backup for Patrick Mahomes?
No, I don't know.
I was shocked. I actually didn't see this. I don't know where this transaction took place, but Carson Wentz is actually his main backup.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's surprising. That is surprising.
Yeah, I was really quite shocked. They had another couple quarterbacks throw the ball during the game, but yeah, Carson is there. He was 4 for 4 for 26 yards. They had a couple other guys throw the rock. Jags had Trevor Lawrence limited 3 for 4, 42 yards, a touchdown. Devin Duvernay got the TD, a 35-yard grab. Mac Jones is there, and CJ Beathard. Mac Jones is now the backup, and CJ Beathard and him are battling for the backup behind Trevor.
Wow, that is what a battle! What a battle that is, for sure.
It was Eagles beat the Baltimore. Kenny Smallhands Pickett was the main guy for the Eagles. 14 for 22, 89 yards and 1 touchdown. I'm so happy as an Eagles fan that Smallhands is there. Really made me so happy. I almost just jumped off my couch when I realized that that's where Pickett landed.
I didn't know where he went, to be honest with you. And so when you said that, I was actually a little bit surprised. I'm like, oh, the Eagles said yes to that? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I know, weird. Giants beat the Lions 14-3 with Tommy Cutlets DeVito. They got DeVito and they got Drew Lock. Drew Lock threw 10 times, had limited yardage, no touchdowns and a pick. Tommy actually came out instead. He still lives with his parents. Still not sure if he's got an NFL career ahead of him, so I didn't want to buy a house yet.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know what? Smart. Very, very smart. And also, too, by the way, that's where I thought Smallhands would land. Right. Like a team like the Giants, because that seems almost like perfect for him.
That's true, yeah. There was a couple touchdowns caught by Eric Gray. He had 4 catches, 52 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Their other guy, the Lions, just minor guys there. Let me see here. What else? Raiders. They're very unsure on who their number 1 quarterback is. It's a battle between Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. O'Connell was 7 for 9, 76 yards. Minshew was 6 for 12, 117 yards and a TD. After that performance, Minshew, I guess, a little bit ahead of what Aiden O'Connell could bring. Yeah,
just slightly, but it's going to come down to the wire between those two.
Do you know who Jimmy G's backing up now?
Wait, he's still on the Raiders, right?
No.
Oh man. Oh, okay. I have no idea. I don't know.
He moved across town.
No. Okay.
Matthew Stafford with the Rams.
Oh wow. Yeah. What?
Crazy.
Wow, that's surprising. At least the one good thing about Jimmy G is like he looks good and he knows it. He's got those model good looks.
Yeah,
so
good for him. Modeling career going. Yeah.
yeah. That's what he should do.
Yeah. Both Jimmy G and Matthew Stafford never saw any action on Sunday. They had their third stringer Stetson Bennett play, and he threw 4 picks. So he's looking for work.
Wow.
He will be on the unemployment line alongside Nathan Rourke, and we'll see if anybody picks him up.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? Maybe the Rams to give Nathan a look because that guy's not good.
No. Trey Lance had an opportunity with Dallas, did not look good. Dak needs backup, and don't know if it's Trey. He never got that opportunity he needed. Yeah, I don't know. Did not look good yesterday.
That's unfortunate because I think didn't the owner for the Dallas Cowboys, what's the
Jerry
name
Jones.
again? Jerry Jones, didn't he give his seal of approval?
Yeah.
Does he? That's who he wanted. That was supposed to be his guy.
Yeah.
Your guy is not very good.
And Jerry said, CeeDee Lamb, yeah, it's not that big of a priority. We're good about getting him under contract. We're fine. We don't need to make it a huge big deal. So yeah, he's losing it. I think he's losing it.
Yeah, I think so too, because you don't have very many receivers of CeeDee Lamb's caliber in the league, period. So if man wants to get paid, you know what you're supposed to do? Pay him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he had the most catches in the NFL last year, second most yardage, 12 touchdowns. Yeah, you need him on that team. As I mentioned, Bo Nix had a really good performance for Denver. There was a lot of talk that he will probably be second or third stringer, but Jarrett Stidham didn't look good, had a pick. Zach Wilson, who, has had a horrible career in the Jets. So I think Bo could probably be under center by the season opener.
I think that would probably be for the best because, like, out of all those names you just mentioned, I would say that he's probably the best out of those 3.
Yeah. As I mentioned, Drake May with the Patriots. We'll see what happens there. They got a new regime now. They still got Bailey Zappi, and they also have Jacoby Brissett. Brissett is on his 5th team at 31, but I think, to me, he's the front runner.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Yeah.
Eagles announced today that Hassan Reddick has asked for a trade, and they have refused to give him a trade. He was only acquired in April from the Eagles. They are refusing to trade him. They say he's going to be fined if he doesn't show up for camp. There is a contract in place. He wants an extension. This could get ugly, and I don't know if they're going to be able to come together with it, but pretty brutal when you make a huge deal, bring a guy over from the Eagles to be one of the guys that you want, and he's already saying he's not showing up.
Yeah, it is absolutely brutal. But I would say, was that already a conversation before he was traded? Yeah. Saying that I am looking for this. If you're going to accept me, this is what I expect. I don't know if that happened like that, but still very brutal.
Yeah. Very brutal. Well, I know that, that's why the Eagles traded him, because he was going to, planning on doing that with them. And so we'll see. We'll see. Good news on Hollywood Brown. He will not need surgery for his dislocated clavicle. We will be able to see him later on in the year for KC. That was a big blow and lots of conversation about it. Luckily, no surgery needed.
Yeah, that they dodged a bullet there. That was a close one.
Okay, one mention of golf before the UFC. They finished the regular season for golf. It concluded yesterday for the Wyndham Championships. They had a hurricane blow in there earlier in the week. They had to postpone the first round from Thursday to Friday. On Sunday, they played 2 rounds, and it was a tough go. But the top 70 guys make the playoffs. They had it set at 70. Not one guy ended up coming in from below 70 to get in that mix. The whole 70 ended up staying there. 2 guys were battling for their first victory on the PGA Tour. Max Greyerson and Aaron Rye were battling. Max had a 4-stroke lead with 5 holes to play, and he came up and he hit a ball out of bounds. He ended up taking an 8. He got a quadruple bogey, 8, and dropped back down to the pack. Came up to the 16th hole and had 4 putts to get himself a double bogey. Fell out of the lead. Aaron Rye got his first victory of his PGA career, and that's the 4th guy this season to get his first career victory. Pretty cool to see these guys make that accomplishment, and I've mentioned it many times on the podcast. A lot of the live defections have really lent to a lot of guys finally getting these opportunities and getting some wins.
Yeah, which I think is to the good. I think it's great that these guys are getting to shine.
Yeah.
Where normally, you know what, the regular names would be up there winning the tournaments and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's a good thing.
Scotty Scheffler goes into the playoffs as the #1 seed. Huge advantage, big lead on the rest of the field. Xander Schauffele is #2. Rory McIlroy #3. Then Colin Morikawa, Wyndham Clark round out the top 5. Scotty, for winning the league and for this, they have a sponsor called Comcast. He was able to get #1 on the top 10 list of the Comcast, and he ended up getting an $8 million check handed to him yesterday. Schauffele gets $6 million, Rory McIlroy 4.8, Colin Morikawa 4.4, and Wyndham Clark $4 million bonus check. Pretty sweet to also get that as you're heading into the playoffs, where there's huge money to be made over the next 3 weeks of the playoffs.
Oh, that's actually awesome. That's awesome that they're getting paid like that, and with the possibility of making even more moolah.
Yeah. So 70 this week. They're cutting it down to 50 for the following week, and down to 30 for the Tour Championship. If you make it in the top 50, you automatically are guaranteed to be in the fields for all the signature events next year. Would have the big, massive purses. So a lot of players are really trying to make that final push and get into that top 50. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Canadians that have made it in the top 70. All want to get into that top 50 and even into that top 30, where you're guaranteed a check on that following Sunday. Corey Connors, Nick Taylor, Adam Hadwin, Mackenzie Hughes, and Taylor Pendrith will be teeing it up Thursday for this tournament, and it's going to be fun to watch. The playoffs are phenomenal in golf, and really good watch.
Oh yeah, definitely. Great watch. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be exciting, and it's going to be intense.
Yeah. The Live Golf made an announcement today that they have suspended Graham McDowell for meth use, and he's got the first ever anti-doping policy suspension. He was fined $125K and will lose his standing for the tournament from June the 21st to 23rd. His team Smash GC will lose all their money and all their points they got from that tournament, and he will be suspended for this weekend's tournament, which happens at the Greenbrier in West Virginia. I was pretty shocked when I saw meth use, and then I dug a little deeper, and it was called levomethamphetamine, and it's actually found in Vicks nasal spray. He said he couldn't breathe. He was having a hard time breathing, so he went to the drugstore, bought something over the counter, sprayed it in his nose. Turned out it had methamphetamine in there. He got tested, got found to be positive test, and is kicked out of this weekend's tournament, and got all his points and money taken away for the tournament a few weeks back.
just how much meth was in the Vicks, because like that's a strong concentration then, and like and it has to be like where it's just like wait, like if I'm him, I'm like, wait, how much meth is in my system right now?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, they always said, I always heard that nasal spray is addictive, but I didn't know they had meth in it. Like, I never wanted to ever do meth because those people look like they're in trouble once they get on that stuff. Can you
No,
believe that's in a Vicks nasal spray? That's pretty crazy.
no, that's absolutely insane. So at least now all the other golfers go, yes, I can't use that stuff.
Yeah.
Not doing that.
I guess there's something called a what's the term? There you can apply for a therapeutic use exemption, and
Mm.
you can show them what you want to take, and they can say yes or no. He didn't think that this had any possibility of giving him a positive test, and so he didn't do it, and he said he's taking full blame for it, and it's going to cost him quite a bit of money, and yeah, hopefully it won't be a black stain on his career.
I don't think so. Like I think it was a mistake. And it was, I think it's a mistake that any of those guys could have made at that point in time. Like anybody could have made that mistake. So yeah, I don't
He
think it
said he
should
was
be a
having
black.
such a hard time breathing that he couldn't even sleep, so he said he
Yeah,
really needed to get it figured out. One last golf note: Canadian Stephen Ames defended his Boeing Classic title just down in Snoqualmie, Washington, a little bit south of here. He shot a 5 under 67 yesterday, beating three golfers by one shot, just battling it out against Ernie Els, Stephen Elker, and Robert Carlson. It was his third win of the season. He's still winning at 60 years old. Pretty impressive. This was his ninth Champions Tour title, and he only won 4 times on the PGA Tour, so he's more than doubled it since he's turned 50, and he's still winning at 60, battling against guys that are 10 years younger, in their early 50s. Very cool and impressive that he's still doing so well after he's hit the 60-year-old mark.
just like fine wine, he just keeps getting better with age.
Yeah. Good point. Okay, UFC. We had a UFC back at the stinking no good Apex, and we had to give it a watch. We had a main event, which was a heavyweight battle, a rematch between the Moldovan Sergey Spivak and the Polish Marcin Tybura. Tybura ended up winning the fight they had 4 years ago, but he was not winning this one. Spivak utilized an amazing transition to an armbar, got a verbal tap, and Herb Dean jumped in to pull him off. Was able to get the really nice victory, got 50K bonus for it, and moved himself up the ranks. They switched rankings because Tybura was 8 and he was 9, but I think Spivak will be able to get some really big fights coming out of this one.
Yeah, he should. The armbar was super impressive because he caught Tabora completely off guard. Yeah. He caught him completely off guard. Like I don't think he was expecting that kind of speed from him to switch his hips like that, flip it, get the armbar the way that he did. Like I was impressed because it happened in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, that was as quick as you could imagine. And the funny thing was he kind of went for like about 10, 15, 20 seconds before. And the commentators were like, hey, I think he's trying to go for an armbar, is he? And they're like, no, he won't be able to do that. And then bam, he did it. And they said that there hasn't been an armbar from a heavyweight for a victory since Fabricio Verdum about 4 years ago. So it's very rare in the heavyweight division, but great way to avenge his loss and get a victory over a super tough guy. And yeah, one of the most impressive armbar victories I've seen in years.
Yeah, it was super impressive. Like, it's almost like he channeled Fabricio Verdum for that armbar. Yeah, it was cool.
It was really cool. The main co-main event, to me, it looked like the fight of the night on paper. I started thinking, wow, this is going to be an incredible battle against a striker and a grappler, and this is going to be incredible. But this was a one-sided affair. Chepe
Yeah.
Mariscal absolutely beat up Damon Jackson everywhere this fight went to. It was, I don't know how they had the stamina to even last the 15 minutes, because it was crazy. The scrambles were insane, and Chepe ended up beating him bad. He got 10-8s from the judges almost every round. What was it? 30-26, 30-25, 30-25, I think that was.
30,
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
Yeah,
was
30-25.
a
I remember
one-sided affair,
30-25.
and Mariscal just proved how amazing he is right now. This guy is elite, and look out the rest of the featherweight division. He's put them on notice.
Oh, you put him on notice, and I would say this: the pace that those two men capped, unfreaking believable, like unbelievable,
amazing.
I think Jackson thought that he could wear on him with his like superior cardio. It's like, well, no, that's not going to work, and it didn't, and he got beaten up for trying.
So
he got beaten up badly for trying. So Mariscal beat him in every which way, shape, or form, on the feet, on the ground. Jackson didn't have an advantage anywhere. Nowhere.
And in the pre-fight talk, that Jackson was saying, hey, I'm superior. If I get this fight to the ground, he ain't getting up. I'm going to beat him. And he's called the Leech for a reason. He's tough. Once he gets you, it's really hard to get away. But Mariscal said, no, sorry, there's levels, and I'm here, you're there. So Jackson's got to go back to the drawing board, get a better matchup next time, and Mariscal's moving forward. Okay, we had Danny Barlow against the newcomer Nikolai Veretinnikov. This is the first UFC debut for him. He came in to take over for Medic. Ural Medic was supposed to fight, and so it was a late notice. I didn't love this fight. It was pretty boring. They didn't really engage much. Barlow just did more, was a little more active, had the harder shots. When it went to the judges, I couldn't believe that one of the judges gave it 30-27 to Nikolai. I don't know what kind of fight he was watching, because Nikolai didn't do much and shouldn't have been given even one round, let alone all three. But luckily it did go the right way on a split decision. Barlow got the win. Not impressively, so he's got to fight on the front foot a lot more next time. But too bad this didn't really turn out very well.
No, it didn't turn out very well. Like, they just didn't engage.
No.
And Barlow was, I thought, the better striker.
Yeah.
So he could have taken a little bit more risks or chances, but he just chose not to. He chose to just be just that more active than the other guy that just really didn't do anything. And then the fact that the one judge gave it to Veretinnikov, I was like, that dude should not judge ever again.
Oh.
You should never judge ever again in the UFC. Never again.
That was embarrassing and stupid, and I was pissed off. I hate that. It really bugs me, and it sits with me for a long time when I see somebody blatantly screw it up that bad. It was horrible, but like I said, the right guy won, split decision, and moving forward. Chris Gutierrez, he won a couple rounds in this fight against Kwong Lee. Gutierrez was the overwhelming favorite. I think they said minus 750 at this time of the fight. He utilizes his good cardio, fighting out of Factory X in Colorado. Was able to just utilize leg kicks. I wish he threw his hands more. I wish he, had that balanced attack, but those leg kicks are super brutal. He was able to stay out at distance and win 2 rounds. The one round that Kwong Lee got the fight to the ground, I thought he won, but Gutierrez did deserve the win in the end.
Yeah, he deserved the win in the end. Kept the fight at the distance he wanted to fight at, and he played it safe. Let's call it what it is. He played it safe. utilized his leg kicks, beat up the lead leg, and got the win.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Yeah, it was he was supposed to be fighting Basharat.
Yes,
Yeah, Gutierrez was
but it didn't
supposed to be
happen.
fighting Javid Basharat in this one, and then yeah, Kwong Lee was a late replacement. So you know, sometimes guys are a little bit apprehensive when they're fighting somebody new that they don't know anything about. But anyway, Gutierrez got the win. Good for him. Okay, the women's bantamweight fight between Yana Santos and Chelsea Chandler. Santos was pissed off that Chandler did not try to make the weight. She said, yeah, she came in fat, 5 pounds overweight. What the hell is this? And she laid a beating on her. And when I saw that her husband is Thiago Santos, I'm like, whoa, that is one dangerous couple. And holy cow, both of those two are killers. And she really put a beating on Chelsea Chandler for missing weight and disrespecting her, she said.
Yeah, no, she really did put a beating on it, and she looked fantastic while doing it. Great movement. When Chandler tried to close distance, she just couldn't find her. And Santos's combos were absolutely accurate, efficient, and very, very, very effective.
Yeah, they sure were. Yeah, impressive. I really thought she did a fantastic performance, and you know, 2 ranked girls. And I thought this was going to be a super close fight, but Santos was on point and deserved the win. Really, really great performance there. Okay, we got the Japanese fighter Tashiyomi Kazama. He ends up getting 50K for his submission victory over Charlompos Grigoriou. I don't know how to say his first name very well, but yeah, really great how he got the triangle choke and forced the tap. He was in severe trouble just very recently before that. Grigoriou just came out in that second round and just started firing shots, knocked down Kazama, and decided to engage on the feet. Kazama was able to you know, manipulate his legs and get into that triangle and force the tap. Very impressive win after being in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, Grigoriou came out with Fist of Fury in the second round and tried to end it quick. I don't know if it's because he thought, my gas tank is almost on empty, I'm going to just try to take this guy out right now. Yeah. Almost did it. Yeah. I think he made the mistake when he went to the ground and tried to go for the ground and pound finish. Yeah. And then all of a sudden just literally ran out of gas. Yeah. And then that's where Kazama took advantage of that, got the triangle choke finish.
Yeah. Yeah, he tried to just empty the gas tank. He did make a big mistake, I think. Engaging with him on the ground, he should have tried to let him back up and knock him back down again. And you know, he just yeah, he should have just been you know, trying to hit him at distance and kept the fight standing. It was his mistake, and Kazama jumped on. As I said, he got the 50K bonus. Huge win for him. Okay, we had the feature prelim, and that let me see here. Oh, I just got to shift to there. Oh yeah, we had Coral Hosa against Pani Canizad. I'm terrible with names tonight. Tell me about this fight. What do you think?
Rosa was the better striker in this. Definitely the more powerful striker, especially when it came to the leg kicks. Kianzad was trying her best to fight in a way that was at her distance, but Rosa just wouldn't allow it to happen. And Rosa just eventually just began to dominate Kianzad because she was the more powerful striker. Yeah. It began to show itself more and more as the rounds wore on.
Yeah, those calf kicks were compromising her, and they were just so brutal. Yeah, you knew that the longer this fight lasted, the less that she would be able to bring to the table with her leg that beat up, and Hosa, yeah, really dominated. 2 more ranked fighters there, 9 and 11, and Hosa will keep moving up the ranks there in the bantamweight division. I didn't really love this as a featured prelim, but pretty impressive performance by Hossa there going forward. So I did like this heavyweight battle between Johnny Diaz and Carl Williams. It's Denise, not Diaz. Denise still stays undefeated with a really nice win. He just seemed to have a little more powerful shots. He had Carl Williams in some trouble at times, had him wobbled, was able to land some big bombs, and got the decision win.
Got the decision win. Better striker all around. Very fast hands.
Yeah.
Very fast hands. Very fast combinations. Williams tried to give himself a chance by the takedown in round 3, but it was too late at that point in time.
Yeah. Yeah, for such a big guy, 260 pounds, his hands were really quick, and he was good at distance control, and he looks like a very, very, very tough out for a lot of heavyweight fighters. 8-0 undefeated, still, and that was his first ever decision. So he got some experience in the cage, and he's lethal when he lands shots. There was about 4 times I think Williams was on skates and in trouble there. He didn't finish him, but he's powerful and has some stamina, which is a good thing in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, powerful, has stamina, and is a very, very accurate striker.
Yeah. Yusuf Zalal, this is his second stint in the UFC. He won his first 3 fights in the UFC, then he lost his next 4, got cut, went to the regional circuit. He's now on a 5-fight finish streak, and got $50K for this incredible submission performance. Nice to see him got the rear naked choke and forced the tap, and nice to see him back. I like this guy. He's only 27, and he's already had to taste the agony of defeat and getting sent back to the regional circuit. Has worked his way back here, and I think some big things are coming in his future now that he's getting this second shot.
Yeah, I think so too, because I think it takes a strong mentality to know that you were there, and then all of a sudden you get knocked down, but for you to build yourself back up again, to be there again in the UFC, awesome. I think that's pretty impressive. Yeah. And with the fact that he took out Aarons, who's a very tough fighter in and of himself, in round 1 with the rear naked choke finish, very, very impressive win. Welcome back.
Yeah. Okay. The opening fight of the night, we had 2 Brazilians fighting each other. Stephanie Luciano was able to avenge a loss to Talia Alencar. This was interesting because they're so different. Alencar was able to in that first fight get the fight to the ground and dominate the first 2 rounds and look like she was winning the fight. When Luciano was able to keep the fight at distance, she beat her up pretty badly, got a 10-8, ended up in a draw, so they decided to make this a rematch. This one, Luciano kept her on the outside, utilized her amazing stand-up, and in very impressive fashion, got a very convincing win.
You know what? Like, for me, watching this fight this time around, I was just like, how was the first fight even close?
Yeah.
Like, really, I actually had to ask that question. Like, how was this even close? Because Luciano, utterly dominant.
Yeah. Great
footwork. Kept the fight at the distance that she wanted.
Yeah.
And Alencar couldn't find her. Couldn't find her to try to do a takedown or anything of that matter. Like, it was so dominant that I was like, how was this close the first time? I don't understand.
Incredible, yeah.
Or Luciano made that much of an improvement, so.
Yeah, I'm impressed with somebody when they do that. They go back, take a loss or a draw and make this much of an improvement. She was supposed to win this fight. She's 9 years younger, 7-inch reach advantage. She's got all the advantages that you should have to win this. I'm glad that she utilized a tough thing as a draw to make her good. And she's very young, only 24 years old. I think future's very bright for this Brazilian.
Oh, very, very bright. She looked really good, and I look forward to seeing her in with stiffer competition.
Yeah. Okay, let's just preview UFC 305, and we're done. Huge battle in Perth, Australia. Two guys that really hate each other. This is going to be fun to see the face-offs, fun to hear the trash talk. This is a battle between two guys that have really risen up to the cream of the crop of the middleweight division. Adesanya, two-time champion of the division, defended the belt 5 times, and against Dricus du Plessis, who's defending his belt for the first time, and he's the real African, supposedly, and they have really had some war of words. This could get nasty, and this is a fight that I am very excited to see.
It's going to be a great pay-per-view. It's going to be a great pay-per-view.
Yeah.
First off, this main event is awesome. This is what everybody wanted to see. I myself was unsure if Adesanya was going to come back this year because he had stated that he wanted a significant amount of time off.
Yeah.
But I guess the UFC somehow enticed him to come back for this. So
yeah.
I'm excited, man. There's real bad blood here, like real bad blood. I expected all-out war, a very tactical one, but an all-out war. I think this goes all 5 rounds.
Yeah, could, yeah. Adesanya hasn't fought since September, so he's almost a year off. After he lost his belt to Sean Strickland, UFC 293, he said, yeah, significant time. I think a year is pretty significant. And so, I think we'll see the best Adesanya that we have seen probably. DDP did win the belt that Strickland had and took it off of him. He's been on a meteoric rise. He's won 9 fights in a row, 7 in the UFC, and he's beat some very tough competition. Strickland, as I mentioned, Robert Whittaker, Derek Brunson, Darren Till, Brad Tavares. No jokes in there. And Adesanya, one of the greatest of all time, in my opinion. Had an amazing run at the middleweight division, and has been able to the fight that to me defines his career and shows how incredible he is being able to beat Poatan Alex Pereira the second time. After he was kind of his boogeyman, had beat him in kickboxing, had taken the belt off of him, gets his rematch and was able to fire those arrows into him after he KO'd him. To me, that was something that I'll never forget and will go down to me as the greatest accomplishment out of his entire legacy.
Yeah, because let's be honest, Alex Pereira is now the boogeyman to everybody in the UFC, period, right? I will say this, though. Now that we've seen just how big Alex Pereira is, he was probably extremely dehydrated when he fought Adesanya. Sure. He was, I would say he was probably at a disadvantage physically. But regardless, Adesanya did win that fight, got his revenge. And now he has this set up in front of him, and I'm super looking forward to this fight.
Yeah. Adesanya, I think I said 5 times. He defended his belt actually 6 times. One of the GOATs of the sport, in my opinion. He even went for a second belt. Unfortunately, lost to Jan Blachowicz, but has only been beat by Pereira and Strickland, and have super decorated career against tons of killers. He beat almost every one of his competitors twice, as he held onto the belt for many years. And these two guys are both the cream of the crop, and this is an amazing title fight in Perth. It'll be great. The flyweight fight, to me, is a tiny bit of a mismatch, possibly. Kai Kara-France is coming off 2 straight losses. He hasn't looked totally great in the last little while. It's been a few years since he's got a victory, and Steve Erceg is that guy that's on his meteoric rise. Still undefeated, and no, sorry, he's got a couple losses, but still that guy that had that opportunity against Pantoja, where we were like, what? They're giving him that chance already. And you know, he really looked fantastic against Pantoja. And yeah, I think this is the new regime, and I think Kai Kara-France is in a bit of trouble here.
I think he's in a bit of trouble too. I think this is probably just going to be a stand-up affair, and Ursig might be able just to pick him apart through counters, through counterattacking, counters upon counters. Kai Kara-France has to be at the pinnacle of his game, I believe, to beat Steve Ursig. Or else, if he's not right there where he should be, he's not going to win this fight.
Yeah.
Can't win this fight.
It'll be great for Kai Kara because he's got his teammates there. Adesanya's there. Dan Hooker's there. Lots of the city kickboxers will be there. You know, they'll have their entire coaching staff there behind him. And, you know, if Hooker can get a win over Gamrot, maybe it spurs him on. He'll be, you know, wanting to get that win to, you know, make it a three-peat. You know, for the first three or the top three fights of this card. We'll see. Ursig got his shot at a title with 3-0 start to his UFC career, and he hit a sweet spot where everybody else had either lost or were already committed to fighting or couldn't fight. So he got that shot at the belt, and I think that confidence against fighting against the champion in Pantoja, I think this really just spurs him on to really bigger and better things, and he'll get a title shot. You know, if he can win maybe in 2 more fights, I think he can get another chance.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think he knows exactly. It's like, got a taste. I think he has now a better idea of how he should approach the champion, and he wants to get there again.
Yeah. I mentioned Hooker and Gamrot. They fight right before Kara-France and Ursig. It'll be rough if all 3 city kickboxers get beat. I think Hooker is in a bit of trouble against Gamrot. I think Gamrot is a pretty amazing lightweight, and yeah, he's on a 3-fight win streak, won 7 of his last 8. Beat Rafael dos Anjos last in 299 in March. 7-2 in the UFC, and Hooker's had an up and down UFC career, 13-8 in his UFC. But he has beat some very good competition in Gilbert Burns, Paul Felder, Nasrat Haqparast, Ally Quinton, Jim Miller. Yeah, he's had a ton of very tough battles. I think I leaned a little bit towards Gamrot in this one, but we'll see. It should be a heck of a fight.
It's going to be a heck of a fight. I think the path to victory for Hooker is he's going to have to defend the takedowns of Gamrot. Yeah. If he cannot do that effectively, he's going to lose this fight.
Yeah. Gamrot's never been finished. Has wins over Rafael Fiziev, Arman Sarukian, Jeremy Stevens, 8 knockouts, 5 submissions. And being a southpaw, always a little bit challenging for the competition. So, yeah, I lean towards Gamrot in this one, but it'd be great to see Hooker win. The heavyweight battle between Tai Tuivasa and Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Tuivasa's on this card because he's, you know, from this part of the world. I think this is a bit of a mismatch, but in the heavyweight division, you know, you just need to land that one big shot. Tuivasa has lost 4 in a row, and Rozenstruik, you know, one of the ultimate tough guys in this heavyweight division. I lean towards Jairzinho, but somebody's going to sleep.
Somebody's going to sleep. This is not going to go all full 3 rounds. I agree with you. I lean towards Jairzinho as well. But Tai does have a shot. Yeah. He does have a shot because every heavyweight has a shot. But yeah, I'm with you on that. I think Jairzinho wins this fight.
These are the guys that Tuivasa has lost to in this 4-fight win streak, though. Cyril Gahn, Sergey Pavlovich, Alex Volkanov, and Marcin Tybura. So, you know, tough guys, you know, the top of the top. Rozenstruik, his last fight was a win over Shamil Gaziev, TKO. 8-5 in the UFC. big wins over Andre Arlovsky, Overeem, Chris Dawkins, and Augustus Sakai. He's also lost to Volkov, Gone, Almeida, and Curtis Blades. So these guys, have both fought the top of the top. Have big wins over some of them, have big losses over others. So as we both said, I think this is definitely somebody's going to sleep in the cage.
Yep, somebody's going to sleep, and it's I expect some really good violence in that particular fight.
Yeah. We have a change with the Casey O'Neill fight. Teresa Bleda has been knocked out, and Luana Santos will come in. Santos just fought just last month, July 13th. She submitted Maria Gabafova. And Casey has lost their last two coming in after winning her first 9 fights in the of her career, and 4 in the octagon. I think actually Santos has a bit of advantage over O'Neill, and I think O'Neill's going to be sad that she lost her original opponent.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Santos is by far and away the tougher opponent for Casey, and she's going to have her hands full.
Yeah, another heavyweight battle: Junior Taffa and Walter Walker. Should be fun. This is going to be a great card. Tons of good fights on it. Let's hope we don't lose any. Jack Jenkins was supposed to fight Canadian Gavin Tucker, who fell off, and now Jenkins is fighting Herbert Burns, which should be a hell of a fight.
Should be a great fight. Looking forward to it.
Okay, that's it for me. Anything you want to mention before we call it a night?
No. I did want to mention one thing just about this UFC 305. Like, I love the main card.
Yeah.
This is good matchmaking.
Yeah.
This is great matchmaking. This main card is as strong as it's been. Probably one of the stronger cards, definitely, for this year. Yeah. And I'm very much looking forward to watching this pay-per-view. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, those first 4 fights, I'm chomping at the bit to see all of them. Yeah, great matchmaking, and they should be all memorable and fun.
Yeah, definitely. Like this, like when the UFC matchmakers, when they actually get it right, they really get it right.
Yeah, good point, man. Okay, well, thanks so much for doing this as always, and that was a great episode. I really enjoyed it a lot. Hope you have a fast week ahead, and you can get some rest coming next weekend. They're doing this again though for this card. We complained about it a couple weeks ago. They're making them fight in the middle of the night, so we get to watch it at our times. Kind of crappy. 7 o'clock for the main event starting. The early prelims start 3:30 Pacific our time, 5 o'clock for the regular prelims. Hopefully that doesn't affect it like it did a couple weeks back.
No, yeah, hopefully it doesn't affect it. But if it does affect it again, then there's going to be a pattern. We're going to start to see a pattern, and then maybe the UFC is going to be like, maybe we should stop doing that at this weird times.
Yeah, I feel a bit sorry for them. Yeah. Be sometime on Sunday morning, super early morning, that they're fighting. Hopefully they put in some contingencies to help them out, because I thought last card that they did it over in the Middle East there, it was a bit of a disaster. Yeah, it was not cool.
No, it was just too late. Like, and I think it just really threw the fighters off. Threw the fighters off.
Yeah. Oh, I'm wearing Robert Plant. He's performing here in Vancouver tomorrow night and the following night. The greatest singer of all time, in my opinion. And I hope to get down there to the Queenie to check him out. And don't have tickets yet, but always be able to buy some somewhere. So did I tell you that I was sitting in a restaurant about a week and a half ago, and Billy Idol walked in?
Get out of here. Are you serious?
Yeah. I went to his concert the night before, and we were going to a concert the following night, and decided to stop in and have a drink and a bite to eat at a place called Fanny Bay Oysters downtown there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay. And so we're sitting at the bar, and I mentioned to the bartender, hey, yeah, Billy Idol last night, phenomenal. What a great show. Love the guy. He's so awesome. Super fun to be around. And they were, talking back and forth to us about Billy Idol and stuff. And then look up about 5 minutes later, boom, he walks in the door, comes in, sits right behind us. I approached them, and I got just completely shoved to the side by this huge, massive bodyguard. He was like, hey, give us some space. Oh, get out of here. And just pushed me away. And I never got a chance to actually shake his hand. I kind of shook the guitarist's hand briefly, and that was it. But it was great. He was sitting behind me the whole entire time I was there, and it was pretty neat to see the guy out in public.
Okay, so I'm a little bit disappointed because you should have put on an NFL move, shake the bodyguard, Barry Sanders spin move, and then you get to shake Billy Idol's hand.
Yeah, damn, yeah. I should have thought about Barry Sanders on that. Yeah, that would have been hilarious if I just tackled the bodyguard into a table and just took him down. This was a massive dude. Like, this was a massive guy. No wonder he's employed as a bodyguard. This guy was tall and super thick, and not a guy you mess with.
No, of course. That's why he gets paid the big bucks, so that nobody can talk to Billy. That's unfortunate that you didn't actually get a chance to talk to him, but at least you got to see him.
Yeah, no, it was really neat, and I was surprised he was still in town. The following night. Usually they're out of town right away after the show, or first thing next morning. But I guess he had a day between. He was heading to Edmonton for their next show, and he actually posted a picture on his Instagram from Fanny Bay, I guess he took a picture with the server and the shucker, I guess, of the oysters, and he wouldn't give me no picture, but he gave them one. But it was still kind of amazing and cool to see him just stroll in and sit down at a restaurant right behind me.
Yeah, I guess unfortunately, if you had been a shucker, you could have got a picture. But unfortunately, you're not a shucker, so
no. Didn't pull off the Barry Sanders move. Didn't get into shucking, so no Billy Idol meet for me.
Next time.
Yeah. Did you see Snoop Dogg during the Olympics? The guy was like everywhere all the time, and then he's back in LA singing on stage promoting 2028. The guy was everywhere during those Olympics. It was amazing.
He got paid a significant amount of money to be there. All costs paid for. Like, must be pretty cool being Snoop Dogg. It's like, oh, so you just hanging out? It's like, yeah, getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a day just to hang out and promote this awesome sport and just see the young people succeed at their dreams.
Yeah. No, Snoop, you got to just give it to that legend. I just saw him in concert a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely phenomenal. Did a Canadian tour, and they were great. Then he flies over to Paris, gets paid massive money, and shows up at every cool venue. It's incredible that a guy can just be who he is and be that widely loved by everyone. You don't see very many guys just be who you are, smoke massive amounts of weed, and just do whatever you do, and everybody seems to love you. It's incredible.
Yeah, and everybody seems to love you because you can just do the craziest stuff, like, have a show with Martha Stewart, who just got out of the joint. So she's like, no, I know what he's all about. I'm hard like that. So, like, everything he does is cool. Yeah. Everything he does is cool. And everybody knows he's cool. So, yeah.
Yeah, what a legend he is. What a legend. Yeah, so fun. Okay, man. As I said, thanks so much for doing it. As always, that was a great episode, and can't wait to keep in touch with you for the week. As I said, I hope it flies by for you, and let's get together soon.
Yep, you betcha, man. You take it easy. Have yourself a great evening.
Okay, man. Thanks so much. Yeah. Bye for now. Okay, everybody. That was another episode of the Complete Sports Media's podcast. I just want to thank our partners and sponsors. Verbero, the hockey equipment and apparel company, industry leader in technology, performance, and value. V350 stick is a must-have. Anchor.fm, the easiest place to make a podcast. Go to their website, and you can do what Jason and I just did there. Pampas and Possibilities, really phenomenal at sprucing up your house, giving the West Coast beautiful things, and you're all around the home to spruce it up, make it look phenomenal. And Forever Living, the aloe vera company for health and beauty products. You can get them at discounted rates on our website. Highly recommend everything that they provide. And thanks to all the viewers and listeners. I know we've had a couple weeks off, but I'm sure you had some time off too to watch the Olympics, enjoy your summer holidays and all the great weather that we're having. So we will be coming at you fast and furious with a lot more episodes soon. We're trying to get some Olympians on. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can secure a couple of Olympians to be guests, and that will be amazing and fun. So take care of yourself. Have a fantastic week ahead, and we will talk to you soon. Love you. Bye for now.